Hello students, welcome to chemistry class. Today we are going to discuss the topic what is an ion of chapter atoms and molecules. Learning outcomes. Students, after the completion of the topic, you will be able to number 1 define the terms ion, which is atom with charge, valency, combining capacity of an atom, and radical, that is group of atoms carrying charge. Number 2, you will be able to classify the ion into cation and anion depending upon the charges. Number 3, differentiate between cation and anion. Number 4, compare an atom and an ion like sodium atom with sodium ion. Number 5, you will be able to list the ions having valency 1, 2 and 3 respectively. Ions may be cation or anion. Number 6, you will be able to name the elements having variable valencies, means valency more than 1. Number 7, you will be able to write chemical symbols of various ions and radicals. So let's start with the term ion. Students, an atom is electrically neutral, means it carries no charge, neither positive nor negative. But if an atom carries charge, it is known as ion, and these charges are developed by loss or gain of electrons, with which we will deal in the next chapter. Ions may consist of single charged atom, like you can see here, Na plus, Mg2 plus, Cl minus, Br minus, or a group of atoms that have a net charge on them. Here you can see OH negative is having -1 charge, and format ion, that is HCO negative, is carrying -1 charge. So students, here we have achieved first learning outcome, that is now you are able to define the term ion. Next is types of ions. Ions are classified into two types. Number 1, cation, which is positively charged, and anion, which is negatively charged. So here we have classified ions into two types, that is we have achieved second learning outcome. Next is cation. Cation is positively charged ion, and this is formed by loss of electrons. My dear students, about electrons you will read in chapter 4. Now you have to remember only this: it is subatomic particle, means it is one of the particles of an atom which is negatively charged, and metals form cations by the loss of electrons. Here you can see it is sodium atom, which is forming sodium cation Na plus by the loss of 1 electron, and magnesium atom is forming magnesium cation, that is Mg2 plus. Next term is anion, N for negative, N for anion. The negatively charged ions which are formed by gain of electrons are known as anions, and non-metals form anions. For example, chloride anion, that is Cl minus, bromide anion, that is Br minus. Let's discuss the differences between cation and anion. Cation is positively charged ion, and anion is negatively charged ion. It is formed by loss of electrons, and metals form cations. Anions are formed by gain of electrons by the non-metals. Here are the examples of cation and anion. So students, here we have achieved third learning outcome, that is now you are able to differentiate between cation and anion. Next, comparison between an atom and ion. Atom is neutral. It doesn't carry any charge, but ion may be positively or negatively charged, which may be formed by loss or gain of electrons. Here you can see the cation is formed by loss of electrons, and anion is formed by gain of electrons. Atom is less stable than ion, and ion is more stable than atom. About this you will read in chapter number 4 in detail. atom is gold atom Au, copper atom Cu, iron sodium ion which is cation, and bromide which is an anion. So students, here we have achieved fourth learning outcome, that is now you are able to compare an atom with ion. Next term is valency. Valency is the combining capacity of an atom of an element. So here now you will be able to write definition of the term valency. That is, we have achieved first learning outcome. Valency can be used to find out how the atoms of an element will combine with atom or atoms of another element to form a chemical compound. See how. Here in case of HCl, one hydrogen is joined with one chlorine atom. So valency of chlorine is 1 because it is joined with one hydrogen atom. In case of water, one oxygen atom is joined with two hydrogen atoms. So valency of oxygen is 2. In case of ammonia having formula NH3, one nitrogen atom is joined with 3 hydrogen atoms. So valency of nitrogen is 3. In case of methane with formula CH4, one carbon atom is attached to 4 hydrogen atoms. So valency of carbon is 4. Next, variable valency means valency can be more than 1. For example, in case of copper, there are 2 valencies. Number 1, Cu plus, which is known as cuprous ion, and Cu2 plus, which is cupric ion. In case of iron, ferrous is having symbol Fe2 plus and ferric is having symbol Fe3 plus. So here we are able to name the elements having variable valencies. So we have achieved 6th learning outcome. Next term is radical. Radical is also known as polyatomic ion. It is a group of atoms carrying charge. Types. These are of 2 types, acidic and basic radicals. Acidic radicals are negatively charged. Students, here you can see carbonate radical having formula CO3 2 minus. So net charge on it is 2 minus. Sulfate SO4 2 minus. So overall charge is 2 minus. So it is a group of atom which is carrying charge. Basic radicals are positively charged radicals like ammonium. It is NH4 plus. So here we have achieved our first learning outcome, that is now you are able to define the term radical. Now let's see the video explaining the term ion, its types, that is cation and anion, and also radicals.
We have learnt about atoms and molecules. Now let us learn about ions. Ions are single atoms or groups of atoms that have a negative or positive charge. Let us observe a molecule of sodium chloride. A molecule of sodium chloride is made up of a positively charged sodium ion and a negatively charged chloride ion. Positively charged ions are called cations. Negatively charged ions are called anions. So, in a molecule of sodium chloride, sodium is the cation and chloride is the anion. Metals generally form positively charged ions. Non-metals generally form negatively charged ions. A group of atoms can also have a charge. For example, the ammonium ion, which is made up of 1 atom of nitrogen and 4 atoms of hydrogen, has an overall positive charge. The nitrate ion has an overall negative charge. Groups of atoms that form ions are called polyatomic ions.
I hope video is clear to you. Next is table showing names and symbols of some ions. Students, please read this table carefully. Here are the cations like sodium, potassium, silver, cuprous which have valency 1, and anions like hydrogen, hydride, chloride, bromide, iodide, radicals like ammonium, NH4 plus, hydroxide, OH negative, and so on, which have valency 1. Next is cations like magnesium Mg2 plus, iron which is also known as ferrous Fe2 plus, anions like oxide O2 minus, sulfide S2 minus, radicals like carbonate CO32 minus, sulfate 2 minus, all these have valency 2. Aluminium Al3 plus, ferric Fe3 plus, anion like nitride N3 minus, and radical phosphate which is having net charge 3 minus, all have valency 3. So students, now you are able to list the ions having valency 1, 2 and 3 respectively, and you are able to write symbols of various ions and radicals. So at the end of the topic, we have achieved all learning outcomes. That is, now you are able to define the term ion, radical, valency, classify ion into cation and anion. You are able to differentiate between cation and anion. You can compare an atom with an ion, and you can name elements with variable valencies and list the ions having valency 1, 2 and 3, and also you are able to write symbols of various ions and radicals. So here is worksheet for you students. I'm going to send its link to you, so please solve it in your notebooks. Thank you.